Hello, everybody. I wanted to do another check in with you and just let you know that I've been able to view some of the screencasts so far, and I'm really happy with what I was seeing. This is the first time I'm doing anything like this, so I hope that, the purpose of the assignment is to not make your life too challenging, but to work through some technological learning curves and to also work with groups that might not be directly in front of you. Communication is key in this type of environment, and we're learning that communication is just important in general when it comes to leadership and having clear lines of communication, whether that be verbal or nonverbal. More so in this case, we're talking about verbal communication. I know many of you did um, conference calls or whatnot to work through some of the assignment criteria, and hopefully you were able to work through all that. From what I can tell, you all did. The ones that I've seen so far have been very successful, so I'm really happy to see that, and even a little satire in some of the presentations, which I appreciate while I'm viewing. Just a quick review for what's coming down the pipe. I realize that you have to post to your groups, to another region's group, um, power presentation. I apologize. I have a lot of distractions going on outside, and I have a huge window behind me. You guys can see I'm in a different part of my room right now. This is where I teach in my lab. Skeletons everywhere. Um, so back to what I was saying about posting. So some of this assignment, don't let it get too far away from you. Completing the screencast portion of the assignment with your post to a peer, and then your rebuttal to your peer's post. In addition, maybe you're working on this coming week and what's due, and we're finally going to be talking about policy. We've alluded to it and we've brought it up in some instances for examples, but now we're really getting into the thick of it. So you have the Porter reading, the Stone reading. If you have any problems accessing the Stone reading, please let me know. I know a couple people may have. You're only to read a portion of that. It is very long. The document you're going to open is long. You're to read the policy paradox portion, and then the analyzing policy, as well as best practice. So the audio and visual portions will just kind of help when you're further diving into the content, the influencing policy development. And then for your post, we're focusing on Porter and how your employer's policymaking allow or not follow the patterns you have read about. So is what you're reading coinciding with what you're seeing? Are there discrepancies? We can learn a lot from discrepancies. Everything is great when it's written out and in this nice cookie cutter way of doing things, but we know that implementing policy, creating policies there's a lot more red tape that goes into it, a lot of stakeholder opinion that should go into it and often doesn't. And sometimes we can policy ourselves into a corner. So also, I'm still not 100% feeling better, still a little stuffy, so if that's distracting, I apologize. I just wanted to get this YouTube video out as soon as I could. So that's my check-in for this week. Like I said, looking forward to looking at the rest of the screencast. Please, if you have any issues, send me a web study email. I do want to remind you that I'm on the East Coast. So when I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, many of you are just kind of wrapping up your workday, if not getting home, eating dinner with your families, a later dinner. So be mindful of that. I try to respond to your emails as soon as I can, and I don't think there have been really any issues yet. But just so you're remembering that. And to, if push comes to shove and I'm not responding to you quickly enough on web study, I do have an RMU email account that is set up directly to my phone. My RMU web study platform is very difficult for me to access from my phone. I don't know how many of you have tried to use the app. It's not very good. So if you need to get a hold of me for emergency type situations, or like need for me to know something right away, email me at my RMU email at ewalters@rmu.edu. I think that's the right ending. Because that will get sent directly to my phone at all hours of the day. Whereas web study, I have to get on and check often. And I'm teaching all day and, working on my research. So it just sometimes gets away from me. But I'm done blabbing. I've spent 5 minutes of your time listening to me kind of complain, get on my soapbox. But I want to make sure that I'm accessible. And I want to make sure that you know what's coming your way. And if you have any questions, to let me know. All right, guys, have a good week.